I became a full-time music producer by the age of 24, but if I knew these 3 habits I'm about to share with you in today's video, I probably could have done it a lot faster. There was never one huge moment that transformed everything for me, and it wasn't by luck. Instead, I just kept doing these simple habits every day that gradually led to my dreams coming true. And that was with years of trial and error on my part. So if you want to learn how these 3 habits will make you a full-time music producer, then keep watching this video because I'm going to share with you the exact steps I followed. The first daily habit that helped me become a full-time music producer is to make music every single day. Whether I cooked up 5 beats in one day or I just played around on my keyboard for like 10 minutes, I made sure to do something musical every single day. If you're obsessed with music and making beats just like I am, then you probably already do this. But if you're not, then you should definitely start, especially if you want to become a full-time music producer. Making beats every single day is more than just honing your skills and craft as a producer. It's about immersing yourself in the creative process so that making beats just becomes second nature to you. This daily ritual is key because it'll lead to constant growth and evolution in your sound, and will also help you learn to love the process of making music. This might sound like a lot, especially if you have a busy schedule and other obligations like children and a family that keep you from making music as much as you'd like. But even if you can only fit in a 10-minute jam session every day, that's enough to keep the consistency up. Staying consistent is everybody's favorite advice to give to music producers, but I always say it for a reason. You're gonna need a lot more than motivation to become a full-time music producer, and making music every day is gonna instill that creative discipline into you so that you'll be able to make beats and music even if you don't feel like it. And being able to do so is extremely important because the hard work doesn't stop when you go full-time as a music producer. That's when the hard work only just begins. So you're gonna need a strong work ethic to keep up, just like the other professionals do. Aside from the mindset benefits of making music every single day, it's also great for building up your catalogs of beats and songs produced, and it's always gonna push you to experiment and be more creative when you're cooking up. The more you create, the more you're able to experiment with different sounds and techniques, and that's gonna make you a better producer overall and help you find your unique sound and style. Remember, all your favorite producers were also beginners at one point making trash beats, but what set them apart from the crowd was their dedication to the craft and love for creating. And if you want to be just like them, then you're gonna have to develop the same habits. My next habit that led to my success is to regularly collaborate with other producers and artists. Collaboration and networking is key, especially if you want to go full-time as a producer. The internet and social media has made this so much easier compared to how it used to be. Back in the day, you used to have to live in a major city like LA or New York just to be able to get into studio sessions. But nowadays, with social media and the internet, anybody from anywhere in the world can create any kind of opportunity with themselves by just reaching out to people through the internet. I realized the importance of collaborating with other producers early on, especially back when I wasn't making very consistent sales on my own beat store. My income from beats used to be all over the place when I first went full-time, but my splits from collaborations with bigger producers was my first source of consistent income during that time. And other producers have got even crazier with it, like Kavi, who's made literally hundreds of thousands of dollars from just sending loops out to other producers. Monetary reasons aside, collaboration is key because it'll help you become surrounded with the group of like-minded individuals that share the same goals and ambitions as you. This will ultimately expose you to other musical perspectives, techniques, and even other networks for you to potentially tap into. To collaborate effectively, you need to find other producers that inspire you and also push you outside of your creative comfort zone. To me, my favorite part of collabing with other producers is hearing melodies and loops that I probably would never come up with on my own and adding my own twist to them. This keeps making music fresh for me. If I ever don't feel like making a beat from scratch, I know I can always go to my email and pull up a loop from one of my homies, and I know I'll have something sick to start with. This applies towards working with artists and rappers too, if getting placements is on your list of goals. Now, for those of us that are a little bit more introverted, this might seem like a lot. Trust me, I'm one of them. But it's important to push yourself and put yourself out there. You gotta get used to the discomfort of it. Reaching out and meeting other producers gets easier the more you do it. And just like with making music every day, it's important to do the same with networking and collaborating. Even if you think you're the greatest producer ever and you don't need loops from anybody, you should still collaborate and make some producer friends because it's just gonna make the journey a lot more fun for you. Trust me. Having producer friends that you can regularly work with and bounce ideas with back and forth will keep you engaged in your journey to becoming a full-time music producer. And the last habit that led to me becoming a full-time music producer is to constantly be learning and obtaining new information. This goes beyond becoming a better and more knowledgeable producer. When you become a full-time music producer, you become an entrepreneur and a business owner, whether you realize it or not. This means that you have a lot more to learn about other than making hard beats, especially in today's world. Making hard beats and being in the right rooms used to be all that you needed to become a full-time music producer, but nowadays, making good beats is just a prerequisite. Your success is gonna come from how well you market yourself and move around in the industry, so it's important that you're always learning to stay ahead of the curve. This means watching tutorials and cook-ups regularly so you can always be expanding your musical palette, learning about marketing or business, or even just reading a self-improvement book. So don't be afraid to invest your time, energy, and money into things that are gonna make you a better producer and a better business owner. Learning new skills can also open more doors for you as a music producer, even if those skills have nothing to do with making beats or music. For example, a popular skill that a lot of producers learn aside from making music is how to edit videos. This can lead to a lot of opportunities for producers who are good at editing videos because it lets them network with other bigger, more established producers who are in need of those kinds of services. And there's a lot of those kinds of producers out there. Another skill that I learned last year that opened up a lot of opportunities for me was learning how to make websites. This led to me being able to start my own kit selling site with some other producer friends of mine, which has already generated over $10,000 of revenue in its first 9 months of existing. It also allowed me to work with the Heat Agency, which ultimately led to me being able to make these videos for you guys today. I used to just be a fan of the channel, hungry for knowledge about how to sell my beats online, but because I was able to learn new in-demand skills that complemented my producing abilities, I was able to create a lot more opportunities for myself compared to the average producer. At the end of the day, those who are constantly learning and adapting to the new world as a producer are going to be the ones that are that much more likely to be able to succeed and enjoy a long career as a music producer. These have been the 3 habits that led to me being able to become a full-time music producer by the age of 24. I've been reading this book that Ryan mentioned in the last video called Atomic Habits, and it's really opened my eyes to the importance of setting systems and habits to be able to reach my goals that I set for myself. Because without the proper habits and systems in place, the goals that you're set for yourself are meaningless. Goals are only the results you want to achieve, but having the right habits in place is what leads you to be able to make those goals a reality. This quote from the book sums it up perfectly. Success is the product of daily habits, not a once-in-a-lifetime transformation. There was never a big moment where I blew up and was able to become a full-time music producer overnight. It was the result of years of habits that ultimately led to my success and my ability to go full-time with music. If I was just missing one of the habits I missed in today's video, I don't think I'd be anywhere near where I am today. If there's only one thing that you learned from today's video, it's to just trust the process. I used to see musicians post this phrase all the time and never really knew what it meant. But after years of trial and error on my own, I've finally known the true meaning of what trust the process means. For 99% of producers, there's not gonna be one huge placement that changes your life overnight. Your success is gonna come from stacking up small victories. Things like reading a book every single day or making music every single day. Even if you improve every day as a producer by just 1%, those small changes are gonna become far more noticeable in the long run as you stay consistent in your grind to become a full-time music producer. If you're looking for more inspiration on how to become a full-time music producer, make sure you click on the video on the screen right now so you can hear Robin's story about how he became a full-time music producer